Hey everyone, welcome to our small footprint. I have a video today for you that is kitchen work. I am trying to get some stuff done that hasn't been done so far in the month in the lead up to going shopping. So shopping will be mid next week. So I've got to stretch the food till then, but also make sure that anything that's left is used. So today I put the Silverside into the brining mix that Ellice sent me, which was very lovely of her. So I'm trying her brining spice mix to put my Silverside in, so that will go in, and then that way I can smoke that just before I go down to do the groceries, and the kids and Darryl can have that for eating while I'm gone. Amongst other things, I made stock today because the dogs need some food. I'm still working my way through the chicken. I'm struggling a little bit with the chicken because it came frozen, so it's causing a few issues because it takes so long to defrost. And I don't really have freezer space. It's hard. They're on sale again this month, I've noticed too. Whether they have any by the time I go, I don't know. But the price is really great for them. But the problem is the storage, and I don't know whether it's really convenient for the price, so I'm gonna have to figure it out. But yeah, so there was some kitchen stuff there for you today to share. I can't remember what now but some food prep and stuff, so I will share that for today, and I will see you again shortly towards this point of the month, because it's coming up towards the planning and end of the month period. I regularly sort of drop off a little bit to every second or third day videos. I have some project work to get done and a lot of admin and stuff to get done that I haven't had time to do during the rest of the month, so I tend to get that done at this point of the month, and then not as much food prep because we're eating the food that I've already prepped. So I will see you when I've got something to share, and otherwise, thanks for watching. So this morning started off with a failed dough. Now we ran the fire last night, and I'm still figuring out my change of season proofing and everything else. So I got started late this morning, so when I poured this dough out onto the bench, it just splattered. Obviously I couldn't shape this into anything at all, so I poured it all into a pan, and we're going to have focaccia. While that was doing its second rise and going in the oven, I started on some stock. So we make stock this month out of the bones from the thighs that I bought, is mostly, or carcasses. There's some carcass from some roasted chicken in here as well. And we add all the veggies and stuff, and we use this for dog food. So we do garlic and onion and carrots and zucchini if I've got it, sweet potato if I've got it, anything like that, depending on what I'm going to use the stock for and how clear I want the stock. And then I use it in my pressure cooker, and I cook it for 90 minutes. So I top it all up with water to cover all the meat and stuff. You don't have to have that much water. It depends, as I said, if I'm going to use the stock for something else, then I use more water. If I'm not going to use the stock, then I put just enough in to cook the products for the dog. And then we put it in the canner, and it goes in the canner for 90 minutes because that makes the bones able to be just crumbled into a paste for the dogs, for dog food. So we do that regularly so that we can add that to their dry food to reduce food costs. While I had that going, we had some more chicken to prep. So this is chicken that I've managed to defrost. So I discussed the fact that we're having trouble with this chicken. It's a great price, and I will probably buy it again, but I'm going to have to figure out how to do it. Normally when I buy meat, it never gets frozen. I just process it all when we get it, and then it's kept cooked, and that works well for us for freezer space, fridge space, or if I can it or anything like that. Because this comes frozen, it's really hard because you have to store it in the freezer initially, but then when you're wanting to defrost, it's taking 2 or 3 days to defrost in the fridge because it's in great big 2 kilo bags. And then by the time it's defrosted, then you have to process it. It's not always defrosted all the way through the bag, and you're having to transfer it from the freezer to the fridge 2 or 3 days beforehand, which is something that I don't like doing, which is why I don't freeze meat. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but I've gotten the actual processing a lot faster than I did, so that works great that I have got them pieced. I get them pieced a lot quicker, but I'm going to have to figure out what I'm going to do before I buy any more this month. This was the focaccia once it was cooked. It's a little bit doughy, a little bit dense, because that was a lot of dough to throw into one pan, but it'll be great with soup for dinner. Once I'd pieced all the chicken that I had defrosted, I marinated it like I do on a lot of videos. If you've watched some of my other stuff, you'll have seen that I do this regularly. We grill it in the cast iron, so I just add a bit of mustard powder, a little bit of garlic powder, normally some onion powder if I've got it, some paprika, a little bit of the cowboy candy brine, some lemon juice, some olive oil, all that sort of thing. Anything flavours that you like, you can add some thyme and stuff as well. A little sprinkle of brown sugar is nice too, because it gives it that sort of crust when you grill it. And then I marinate it all up in the bowl. I mix it all together well and just put a cover over it and leave it until I'm ready to cook it off while I'm doing other things. For lunch today, we're having sourdough tortillas or flatbreads with this marinated chicken. So this is just my sourdough flatbread mix, and it's great because I can proof it overnight and stick it in the fridge, and for the next few days I can use it straight out of the fridge. Sometimes I need to add a little bit more flour, but most of the time it's pretty good straight from the fridge. You can just roll it out, use 6 balls of it at a time, and then stick the rest of it back in the fridge for the next meal. I find it highly adaptable. It works really well in this house rather than having loaf bread around, because loaf bread just doesn't last. If I've cooked a loaf of bread, the kids eat it pretty much the same day it's cooked, and then it's gone, and I have to make sure to do more. So this was the chicken after it was cooked. It's all nice and dark and moist and tasty. This is how we like it. The other thing I had to get done today was to brine the Silverside that I had, the fresh Silverside that I had in the fridge. So Ellice sent me some brining pickling mix, which was really lovely of her, and I decided to give it a go. So normally I would buy a pre-brined corned beef, and then I turn it into pastrami by soaking it and by smoking it, but she had seen the video and offered to send me some of her brining mix to give a go of brining one of my own. So I heated up the brining mix on the stove and till everything dissolved, and the smell was wonderful. So I'm really looking forward to this. So we heated it all up till it was all dissolved, and then let it cool back down. Now I had a bit of an issue with the Silverside. It's a 2.5 kilo piece. It doesn't fit in a gallon Ziploc bag, which was the suggestion, to put it in a gallon Ziploc bag with the brine and then stick it in the fridge. I couldn't find a container that was the right size, that it would be covered but wouldn't be too big that there wouldn't be enough brine to cover it. It was a bit of a comedy of errors. So I ended up deciding to just put it in the pot that I dissolved the brine in. It's not covered fantastically well, but I will just turn it. So it's going to be in there for 5 to 7 days. The plan is to brine it until the day before I go to do the monthly shopping, and then I can cook it, and Darryl and the kids can have it as the couple of meals while I'm gone. So it'll stay in the fridge for 5 to 7 days, and this is a good time to do it in the month because the fridge is pretty empty at this time of the month. So I always tend to keep, because they're vacuum sealed and it's beef, it's always got a long date on it, so I like to keep these for towards the end of the month, because the fridge is empty, so it's available space for me to be able to do that. So I stuck the pot in the fridge, and all I'll do is each day, once or twice a day, I'll just rotate the Silverside through so that the brine can permeate the whole piece of meat, and it'll be fine. It might not be evenly brined. There might be some greyish parts rather than nice pinkish parts, but it'll all still taste very good, I'm sure. So I put the meat in there, and I made sure it was well covered, and I will just go in every day and make sure that it's flipped over, a bit like what I do with the bacon, because I don't have ideal size containers for the bacon either. Make sure that it's getting coated in that brine every day as it needs, and see how it goes. And I will be sure to film when I cook it and stuff as well, to let you see how it turned out. So thank you very much for joining me again today on this fairly brief food prep day at the end of my month, and I will see you again next time.